block number one, having a lack of control.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I mean, I just witness it in my own, like, career. So, like, I directed 2 movies, and I got convinced them to let me have final cut because there's something about shooting a movie, or making anything and then having it taken away from you is viscerally I get, like, upset.
So someone said you have autism. Get a test.
Okay.
Got the test. The lowest score you can have on the test and be autistic is a 26. I got a 26. Okay. So
Oh. Yeah, yeah.
I just like I jumped on the boat. I wanted on that boat so bad. And and
I wanted on that boat so bad.
it makes me feel like like Asperger's reaction
Yeah,
when things are out of my control
same.
in that regard,
Yeah,
where I'm gonna be held responsible
yeah.
and I didn't get to have final say.
Yeah, the idea of your name being on the thing, but then it's, like, kinda junky version
Yeah.
of itself.
Yeah. And you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I work on my solo shows for, like, 3 or 4 years because it's, like, this thing of, like, I don't want it to be not the thing that's in my head.
Yeah.
I have the same thing even with, like, the marketing materials. I want the poster to be right. I want the trailer to be right. I want, like, everything and along the way, in show business, there's so many people who want that control
Mhm.
because it means money.
Or I also think people want the control just because they want it. I want it.
You even see it with, like, Netflix, right? Where it's like, you'll see a movie that's an ensemble, and then the marketing poster that they're using as the thumbnail is, like, Anne Hathaway, and it's like she's in an ensemble, but it's a solo shot of her, and I'm not even involved with that movie, and I'm annoyed.
Right.
I'm
But
like,
I could argue the
"Why?"
opposite, which is like people are gonna click on it because it's Anne
No,
Hathaway.
I know. That's what they're thinking. That's what
Yeah.
that's what the
And then they see the ensemble.
I know, but don't you have, like, with stuff you make, can you
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do with like things I work on or like what? And then if it's not gonna be that, I get so divorced from it,
Yeah.
or I'm like, I don't even acknowledge it that I had
Yeah.
anything to do with it because it just wasn't what I
So
wanted.
I even have it with, like, I'm going to Edinburgh and London in August and September, and I'm like, where's the Airbnb? What is the walk from the Airbnb to the venue at Edinburgh? What's the walk from the you know what I mean? Like, and that's 3 months from now. Like,
And what are you worried about?
I don't know. It's a lack of it's another one of my blocks. I can't live in the present.
Yeah.
So I'm gaming out the future
Yeah.
always, like, in detail.
Yep.
Like, I'm Google like, Google Mapping was the worst thing that ever happened to people like me
Uh-huh.
because 'cause I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Okay, so
Okay, what
then
if I
I'm
made it right?
yeah, okay, so this is, like, the Danish pastry shop on this corner, and then I walk by
Yeah.
here, and well, what if there's no what if this whole block is shut down because it's the West End? Maybe it's they shut it down." So that's, like, my whole inner
Yeah,
monologue.
I had a thought one time that our brains write tragedies about the past and dystopian sci-fi about the future,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like and it doesn't write anything about the present.
yeah,
It's just like, "No, that was a tragedy back there,
yeah.
that what you experienced, and the future is gonna be worse."
That's so funny. You said something on this podcast on one of the other episodes that I quote all the time, which is probably a misquoting, but it's like that comedians' brains are like the internet before there was the internet.
Yeah.
We just go association, association,
Yep. Yep.
association.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so the internet in some ways is the worst thing that ever happened to people like us because we overthink everything and then
Now we have an engine to help us.
we have actually tools.
Yeah.
We can game out our trip in 4 or 5 months from now, and, like, meanwhile, it's gonna be completely different from how we imagine it.
Yeah.
The idea of, like, controlling things in advance, like, so much of it's out of our
There's also
hands.
another thing. Someone recorded my good night in one of the shows.
This week?
Yeah. Just like waving
Mhm.
applause, right? I can hear people talking, and I'm literally listening to it over and over
To
again,
what the audience
like
is
the
saying?
conversation, like the fucking Francis Ford Coppola
God.
movie about
Oh
paranoia,
my god.
the conversation. And
Oh my
it's
god.
like sometimes I think it's negative, and then sometimes I think it's neutral, and then some things maybe it's positive. And I'm like, what if it's negative, Neil?
Yeah.
What if it is? Then what?
And
Th-
then by the way, of course it is from someone.
sure.
Of course. What are you, 100%?
Yeah.
100%
of
approval?
course. Yeah.
No one
People are gonna
is.
be like, "Eh."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocky wasn't 100% approval. 4% walked out of the theater and go, it didn't seem real how he's boxing.
Well, you know what they could have said? He lost.
Yeah, exactly.
He lost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. Fair criticism.
Why
of
show me
Rocky.
a white loser? That's what's great. A white loser again. I could look at it through a racial lens, but there was a sketch one time that I wanted to write. It was the plot of Rocky is a black champion gives a white loser a chance.
Oh my god. That's an interesting rewrite or
That's
repositioning.
That's what happened. That's
Repositioning.
the plot.
Well, that's your marketing.
A
angle,
benevolent
yeah.
black champion gives a white loser a chance.
Yeah.
Um,
Because Apollo Creed wins
and
in the
beats him.
end.
Yep,
He does.
beats him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
but he didn't kill him.
He didn't kill him. Oh my god.
Yeah. So anyhow, so you like the lack of control. How does it? Well, I guess because of you will jump out the window.
Yeah.
There are certain people and certain like you know who I've said it on here before. People hate control freaks. It's like, how about your brain surgeon?
Yeah.
Are you opposed to him being controlly and wanting things?
Right.
No, certain people I want. How about your pilot? How about like on and on and on? If you need control for it to go right, I cede that to you.
It's a tricky one because you're I think first guest on the show is David Letterman, and people always would say he wants everything exactly this way. He doesn't want anyone, within 50 feet of his dressing room before the show and all this stuff. And I'm always like, I really like the show. You know what I mean? Like whatever he's doing,
Yes.
I really like how it came out.
Yeah, how would you like it to be? You want
Yeah.
sandwiches everywhere? You want it to smell any temperature
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
studio? It's a thing that I find people complain about people or things just out of this weird, I think it's jealousy. I remember when DiCaprio, when I'm old enough to remember when Titanic came out. And I remember people going, that guy, it went from like he sleeps with a lot of women
Oh, yes, ma'am, I do.
to he's gay.
Oh,
To
yeah, yeah.
And it just became this thing of like, it's just like, what can we possibly
What can we pin on
negate?
this
How
guy?
can we negate this?
Yeah, yeah.
How can we negate this great looking, talented guy?
Yeah, really good actor.
Who's seemingly pretty normal, not a monster, not a drug addict, and they go, and you're just looking for him going, Letterman? He likes it 64 degrees. And hey, did you like that? Did you like that? Yeah, did you like it though? You want more? Don't want to work? Would rather watch videos of me grab assing with people? First of all, go up here to subscribe, and then go up here to watch more clips. This is like when the weatherman says that there's a high pressure system coming in. I'm not really used to the green screen.